So hello, it's my turn to do the object lesson this week, and here I am at Jenny's Field in the toilet because there's nowhere else in the building for me to do the object lesson. Everybody's busy in every other room. It's definitely the toilet, honestly. Look, I'll show you. There we go. So yeah, this week we're supposed to be talking about goals, what we want to do when we're older, and that got me thinking, what did I want to do when I was kind of your age? What did I think I'd like to do with my life? What job would I like to do? And I've always been into sports, especially rugby. I played rugby when I was younger and I wanted to be a professional rugby player, but I just wasn't good enough really. And then I thought, well, I quite like juggling. Some of you know, you've seen me juggle, but I'm really not good enough to be a professional juggler. I mean, that's really a cue to give you a little bit of a demonstration just to liven up the object lesson here. So I've got 3 juggling balls. Let me just give you a little bit of a demonstration. So I can do the simple thing with 3 balls like this, and I can maybe just knock it off my knee like that. But you see, I'm not very good. I can do a few other little tricks. Let me just get my juggling ball back. I mean, as some of you know, I'll take my glasses off. I can do a few little tricks, maybe sort of off the head like that and round the back. That sometimes works. Here we go. Didn't work today. So obviously no use me trying to be a professional juggler. So then I thought, what else do I like to do? Well, I like writing, and sometimes I write poems, but they're not really very good, certainly not worth publishing. But I write limericks sometimes, and I thought, well, I'm going to write a limerick for today's object lesson, and it's a limerick all about what jobs we might do when we're older. So here we go then, a limerick about goals and what we might do in the future. Today we are thinking about goals. We'll be thinking about our future roles. Will you be an actor or appear on X Factor, or a person who looks after moles? When you're older, it's just up to you. You can work in an office or zoo, be a vet or a baker, a nurse or hat maker, or look after cows who say moo. Or maybe it's your life's ambition to help create nuclear fission, fly a rocket to Mars, build lorries and cars, or spend all your time mackerel fishing. Be an oarsman if you're good at rowing. Be a tailor if you're good at sewing. If on football you say, please don't forget, we can't all be like Michael Owen. He was a footballer, played for Liverpool in England years ago. I'm sure some of you are old enough to remember him. If your aim is joining the Navy, when the sea can be choppy and wavy, if that makes you sick, rethink your plans quick. Best train as a chef and make gravy. In church you might be a preacher. To pick apples, you might be a good reacher. You might work in a school, make gooseberry fool, but really, who'd be a teacher? Or maybe you will fly a plane to places like Russia and Spain. Perhaps drive a bus, train a hippopotamus, or be like Tash and just be a pain. So maybe a manager you'll be. Perhaps you will clean and make tea. If you're cleaning the loo or making beef stew, please wash your hands in between. Business people travel to new places. There are Nigels and Lucys and Traces. They're pushing their brand, but we hope when they land, they'll be in the same place as their cases. There are so many things you can do. The world is your oyster, it's true. For every child, woman, man, we know God has a plan. For me, and for Tash, and for you. So, God has a plan. That might seem a strange thing to say. God, who made the whole universe about 14 billion years ago, has a plan for me and for you. As a Christian, I believe that's true. The Bible tells us that God knows how many hairs we have on our heads. Wow, just think about that. God knows how many hairs we have on our heads. And if God knows that, I'm pretty certain he also knows what job we'll do in the future, what plan He has for our lives, who we'll marry, if we get married at all, if we'll have children. God knows every single thing about us. I mean, think about it. God made the whole universe and everything in it. But it is pretty amazing that someone who can do that has a plan for my life and a plan for your life. And I don't think it's ever too soon to start thinking about those things. All of you are in Kids Club. That means you're between 8 and 11 years old. So why not start thinking now about what you think you might be doing when you're older, and then when you get into Rock Solid, into our youth groups, we'll help you think a bit more about the skills you have, the talents, and how you can use those to do the best you can in your life, to fulfill your potential and to grow your aspirations and dreams for the future. Find out what God's plan is for your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll be with you again next week.